Welcome back to another exciting edition of Break Your Position. We're four lifelong friends that live out the dream from the comfort of the chairs. We are here with the preseason or off-season free agent prediction show, and I am Aaron, your host.
I'm Joe, the groundskeeper. We're doing 2 episodes in one day, so that's all I got for you. I'm the groundskeeper. I'm the keeper of the
Don't
ground.
give away our secrets.
Yeah, dude, they never would have known.
My hat
This
was
is a different
backwards.
day.
Yeah. Jaylee the Rover. Let's see how good we can do. How about that?
I'm Corey the Statman, and I was about a week ago. I was on a plane, and I had a little trouble staying up in my seat. So you could say I had a week back, about a week back.
Well played. Every time I hear that, I think Brad Bergstrand and Chris Edison. Every time. That's old school. Old school church camp.
Do you know if Brad
Do you know what that's originally
for
from?
most fouls in the Q&D tournament?
I believe that.
Who does? Brad?
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
I don't know if it's still. I think he fouled out of every game except one.
I started the first 2 games of the Q&D tournament. 1 minute in game 2, shot a jump shot at the free throw line, got benched.
Well, you should have dunked it. That's why.
1
I would
minute
have benched
into
you too
the
if you didn't dunk
1 minute into the season, I got cut from the team.
Basketball. Give me
Basketball. Basketball.
All righty. So we are going to talk free agent
basketball.
predictions.
Oh,
We're eventually going to make, using MLB Trade Rumors list of top 50, we're eventually going to make 50 predictions ourselves and have a fun little contest this offseason. But for tonight's episode, since we're talking baseball, 9 is the magic number. We're looking at the top 9 free agents according to MLB Trade Rumors. And we're going to give our predictions for those 9. And then the 10th is each of us get to throw out a person of interest for us. And we get to make a 10th random prediction on free agent as kind of a tiebreaker. Because we're all going to go 9 for 9. So it's all about really who gets the 10th one right.
yeah. Bartolo's playing in Dubai.
Darn it, that was my list.
Yeah.
All righty. So each person's going to take turns giving a brief rundown of the player at hand, and then we'll go around the circle making our predictions. So, Corey, you are the first one up.
Yeah, I've
Leading
never
us
heard this
off.
first guy, Corey. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell him.
at DH, he is a
Shohei?
tall, handsome Japanese man.
Why does Corey always call the ball players handsome?
I would agree.
I appreciate. I mean, like, I can still appreciate a good-looking dude. Doesn't mean I'm
That's
like
true.
into him, but
Doesn't mean
he's a
you're not.
good-looking
Though.
dude.
That does not mean you're
That's
not.
that's you know, it's I can
Next,
neither
Joe's
confirm nor
appreciate and
deny.
reinstate.
Anyway, Shohei Ohtani, he will only hit next year, and then after that, hopefully, he pitches until he's 45. He's I assume has an almost bionic elbow at this point. Cubs have been pretty hard on him. Hard, maybe. Not sure that came out quite right. Cubs have been in on him lately after they went off and signed Counsell. It seems like what people are saying is they're pushing their chips in and going all in. I think, though, he ends up with the Dodgers because it just seems like that's what has always seemed like was going to happen. And he doesn't even have to buy a new house. I don't know exactly the geography of California, but I assume he could probably commute to Dodger Stadium if he was commuting to wherever the Angels play.
Especially since it's the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, or do they get rid of that
Los
altogether?
Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Do they even have Anaheim in their name anymore? They don't, do they?
I don't know, man. Can you scoot back? For all the people that are listening and don't get the pleasure of seeing this, Aaron is very close to the camera. So I'm going Dodgers. I just think they didn't re-sign or offer JD Martinez the qualifying offer because they didn't want him to accept it and fill that DH spot that they are hoping to fill with Shohei. So they're the Dodgers adding a tall, handsome Japanese man to swing a bat for a year and then throw it and swing for 20 years. 20 years, $2 billion.
Two
Shohei to the
Billies.
Dodgers.
Shohei and two Billies going to the Dodgers.
Are we supposed to be giving our
No.
length and okay.
No.
No, Corey.
You got three Billies?
You almost had it, my friend. But my question with this, are we predicting with our hearts or with our guts? What are we doing here?
My gut is my heart. I do what my gut says most of the time.
Okay.
That's
should
why
I
I'm
go to the
drinking
bathroom
Mount-
now? Yes.
That's why I'm drinking Mountain Dew at 9:30 p.m. My gut said
Attaboy.
so.
Well, my heart would
My
love.
mind's telling me no.
Thank you.
I don't think we need to sing R. Kelly on this podcast.
Yeah, I might.
I had no
cut
idea what
that
he
out.
was singing.
But my heart says St. Louis because I want that to happen so bad.
But Mose
my
Lock's
gut-
there, so next.
Yeah, moving on. But my gut and my prediction is he ends up in a big market on the East Coast
Dang.
in Boston.
Ooh. Craig Breslow. Didn't get to talk about him.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm the only person who cares.
So I've told every friend that I have.
So 3 of us?
Yeah, there you
Your
go.
brother count?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody I know that's into baseball, I've been like, Shohei is going to the Giants. The Giants are going to sign him. They definitely have the
They need a
market.
quarterback.
They have the money. Okay. Corey's already wrote it in, even though I didn't say final answer. Can you go back to that, please, Corey? So just today I switched and I have all this on my phone. So, I'm not cheating. Can't quite get that there. Oh,
Okay.
you can see it.
Don't worry, we're not going to follow what you decide anyway.
So I also went with the Dodgers. They make those moves, and I think the same thing Corey said with JD Martinez leaving. Leaves a money spot and it leaves a lineup spot for Shohei Ohtani. Fat deal,
Mhm.
biggest deal we've ever seen.
How many
Yeah.
Billies? 2 Billies, 3 Billies? A Millie and a Billy? Millie
I'll
Billy?
say 580 million.
Oh man, those are all great choices, but here's why you're wrong. LA needs to invest all they have on starting pitching, and Otani's not going to be that. I think Boston's an interesting one, but I think they'd rather have Yoshida DHing because that dude can't play outfield. I am going with the World Series champion Texas Rangers. Him DHing instead of Mitch Garver this year would be ridiculous. Simeon, Seager, Garcia, Shohei, your top 4. And then next year when Scherzer's off the books, Ohtani just steps in and takes over his spot in the rotation. Then all of a sudden you have DeGrom and Ohtani leading the rotation.
Talk
And he
about
wants
some
to do-
fragile elbows.
It don't matter if he's be worth it if he's just hitting. But yeah, I think the Rangers are all in.
I like it.
They still got room to add financially. Dude, they just made $1 billion in the playoffs. They got all that playoff money sitting there. That's just straight income. Garver's out. So bring in Ohtani.
We'll see.
All
On to
right.
our next fine young fellow. Just declined an option to become a free agent. He doesn't really know where he's at half the time because he's high. Can play first base for you, can play the outfield. Seems like a great teammate. And we're talking about, you guessed it, Cody Bellinger.
How did they
This
guess
is
it?
interesting for me. But I think I like my pick for once because most of them you guys know I just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks.
It's the Astros.
No, the New York Yankees, and here's why. One, what a place to hit if you're a left-hander.
Speaking
Two,
of pooping out homers.
Correct. 2, the Harrison Bader experiment didn't work, so he can play center field for you, but he can also go and play first base if you
Surprise.
need him to. So I don't know. I like it. Lock it in. The Yankees.
Pretty good.
I like it.
I have Bellinger going to the San Francisco Giants. They miss out on a bat with Shohei. Just going to kind of assume they need outfield help. I don't really know. I mean, when Brendan Crawford's your best hitter for like a decade, your lineup probably needs some help. So I have him going to the Giants, which of course they'll regret.
I like both those choices. Yankees makes more sense. The Giants do have Haniger and Conforto locked into the corners, and Yastrzemski out there still. But yeah, center field, they could use him. But I actually have the Angels. I don't think Cody's going to be worth the big contract he's getting. I think after losing Otani and Moreno decided not to sell the team, that he's going to overreact and go big for another star name like Bellinger and bring him in to play. And he might even go to center field and let Trout slide over to left to save Trout some wear and tear. So I think he's Moreno's overreaction to losing Otani is to pay the $200 million that Corey Bellinger's supposed to get.
Cody Bellinger.
Who'd I say? Oh, I was reading your name as you were typing. Sorry, Cody Bellinger.
Wow.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I wish you could toss some of that signing bonus my way. I went off on a limb here, and I'm gonna go with the team that was predicted to win the AL Central by 15 games, the Cleveland Guardians. Because their center fielder has historically been one of the worst hitters in the league. And he maybe doesn't have to play center field, but I think they've got a good team that underperformed last year. You bring a guy like Cody Bellinger, who may play well, may not. But like the pitching is, I think there they've got a good young staff and Bieber to kind of anchor that, the anchor him down. Jose Ramirez, great player. If they could get a center fielder they could hit, I think that changes that team pretty considerably. Will they spend the money? I don't know. But I think it's a team that he could have a pretty big difference on. Make a pretty big difference on.
I like it. Yeah, I don't think they're going to spend it, but that'd be a good fit for him.
And Joe is frantically Googling Yoshinobu Yamamoto
How did you know?
because he has no idea who he is.
No, I know who he is. I mean, this guy's getting a lot of buzz. Let me try to say his name. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's pretty good, huh?
That sounded great.
Nailed it.
Not a big dude. 5'10", 176 is what I'm looking up. That's like twice the size of Corey, but that's still not a very big person. It doesn't have that duality that Shohei came over here with, but as far as expectations as a pitcher, I think they're probably as high as anybody since, I don't know, what, maybe you?
Yeah, me.
Me?
You, Darvish,
Oh.
Mr. Darvish.
Yeah.
Looks
Mr.
the
Darvish was
opposite
my
of you.
father. Call me you.
So does this guy have a posting fee, or is he just like a free agent?
Straight free agent.
Straight free agent. So I mean, he's going to get paid. He's the number 3 free agent this year, according to the list that we have. Oh, and I'm up first with my prediction. I have him going to the we used to call them the Skankies back in the day. I don't know why we called them that, because all they did was win. But
That's why.
Why did you write the Giants, Corey?
That's a joke.
Okay. I have them going to the Yankees. They're that big market. They like that. They want to be kind of, the attention getter. They have the money. So congrats. You just got a good pitcher. Let's lock it in.
Yankees were probably my number 2 choice because I think he's going to go big market. Yankees need to make a splash in the rotation, but I actually went with the New York Mets. The Mets just shipped out Scherzer and Verlander. They're not afraid to. Cohen's not afraid to spin big. Going for the old guys didn't work out for him, so now I think he'll put it on Yamamoto, who's what, 25? Is that right? 26? 25. And so him and Senga would make a nice little 1-2 punch to restart their rotation there in the Queens. So I got the Mets for Yamamoto.
I had a lot of trouble filling this out because of what the comments that were made about the Mets at the trade deadline and how they were gearing towards 2025. There were quite a few people that I wanted to put for the Mets, but I did not. I have this guy getting a phone call from somebody on this current team, and he goes, "Hey, Seiya, what's up?" And Seiya says, "Hey, come play with me." And Yamamoto is going to come pitch for the Cubbies.
And regret
Because-
every second of it.
He'd see that area code and just hang up. No thanks.
I bet Seiya probably doesn't have a. Well, I guess he probably does need an American phone. I don't exactly know how cell service works across country lines, but I think the Cubs are looking to add a starter.
Corey's never left
or
Illinois.
two. That's true. I don't leave this basement.
We've tried. You won't leave, guys.
No, I got a bathroom. I'm good. And I think again they're pushing the chips in. They dropped $8 million a year on a manager, and it almost kind of based on kind of some of the things that Jed has said, it almost sounds like old Tommy Ricketts is just kind of handed the checkbook over to him and see how that works out. But yeah, Yoshinobu, come on the Cubbies.
Speaking of pushing the chips in, speaking of an off season for redemption, you almost guessed it right. You had the right division, Corey,
Yeah, I like it.
but he's coming to the Cardinals.
You guys are a bunch
You
of
can.
homers.
They need pitching, that's for sure.
That's
I don't know
right.
that they're going to pay for it though.
Uh,
Poor
That's
low
to be
budget
seen.
Cardinals.
but we're gonna find out if we wanna completely just forget about what this last season was. We start there.
We'll see.
We
We'll
will.
see.
We'll see, dude.
We'll
Lars is
see.
going to call him up.
Will we
Hey,
see?
it's Lars.
He's
We
gonna be like,
played on
"No,
that team together. I think
I'm playing in
I think.
Chicago." Oh, thanks.
Yeah. All right, Aaron. Who's sitting cleanup for us?
All righty. So we get to what sounds like the probable NL Cy Young winner this year, which will be interesting. I was listening to Buster Olney's Baseball Tonight podcast. Sarah Lane got on there and said that if Snell does win the Cy Young, it'll be the fourth straight year the Cy Young winner is a free agent. And it's only happened 11 times, I think she said, in baseball history. And it's going to be the fourth straight year.
Pretty cool.
So, yeah, he's kind of three true outcomes for pitchers: walks, strikeouts, not give up a lot of runs. Depends if you like him or Montgomery better, but Snell's listed fourth here. So according to trade rumors, he's the top lefty on
Win the
on
Cy
the-
Young.
Yeah, but should he? So I actually got I kind of agree with what Buster said. I'll give him some credit on this one because he's pretty smart at his job. He was talking about how Snell and his walk issues and his injury issues will be kind of a desperate situation, and the Cardinals are going to be one of the most desperate teams this year, trying to fix what was the worst season they've had in probably 50 years. So Blake Snell to the Cardinals, probably going to get overpaid, but is at least an attempt for the Cardinals to get better.
And that will probably result in a suicide attempt by myself as I watch him walk 5 guys per 9 innings. Am I next? I'm sorry, I don't want to jump the gun here.
No, you're not next.
Okay, go ahead.
Yikes.
I'm going to. I think this guy goes to the back-to-back NLCS appearancers, the Philadelphia Phillies, who are assumedly going to lose Aaron Nola. And they got Zach Wheeler and they got Ranger Suarez, who does great in the postseason. I think they could use
That's fine.
Another
Come out here
starter
and
or
walk the
two.
Braves around the bases.
Okay. But so Blake Snell going to the Phillies. They're looking to, I think, add a starter or two. They made it the NLCS back-to-back years. They are in win now mode. So it's been big. Hopefully go home with a ring.
Side note, they announced today that Harper is going to be first base going forward.
Really?
Yep. That Reese Hoskins is bye-bye.
Bye.
I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think was actually probably the easiest one for me to make because I don't think he's changing any location. I think he's staying put. San Diego.
San Diego.
Founded by the Germans. I have him going to. I have him signing with the Cubs.
Ooh, so you just want to watch him walk Cardinals?
I would
Fine.
love that. Yeah. You said they need a starter. They need a starter. They're going to spend some money. Why not?
Cubs, I don't know if they want to balance their rotation. They're a little left-handed heavy. And by that, I mean they have Justin Steele and Jordan Wicks, which is 2. So,
So 50-50.
yeah, pretty heavy on the lefties. We know what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Hey, what league are they in?
It's anybody's guess.
No, it's fact.
Up next, we've got Aaron Nola, who I alluded to in the in the Blake Snell discussion. So I think he's leaving the Phillies. I think he goes to the Giants. I think the Giants were kind of a bit of a laughing stock last free agency, where they almost signed Judge and they almost signed Correa and then didn't sign either of them. And we've got Logan Webb. Like they need some help.
They
I don't
got
know if
Webb and
it's next
Harrison
year.
locked in.
Yeah.
And then Mania and Cobb left, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, they need somebody.
So I got Aaron Nola going west. Aaron Nola goes west with Joe West.
Is he
What's
as
the com-
like manager, like Paul
Yes.
Bear to the Undertaker?
I think it wouldn't be a tour if you didn't have multiple stops. So this is another stop on the redemption tour, and he finds himself in St. Louis.
8 of 9 for Jared or Cardinals.
Yeah, it's going great.
That would be great.
It's not 8 of 9, but it's
Every pitcher besides Blake Snell.
I have who we on Aaron Nola. I have him
Mhm.
re-signing with Philadelphia. He's done well there. They like what he's done. They got money. They'll pay him.
You guys have these people resign. I think they would have just done it already.
gonna test the waters, see what's out there.
Don't let them test the waters of yours. That's why I'm afraid Max Fried's gone next year, and Braves haven't locked him up yet. I got him going out west, but I got him going to the Dodgers. Dodgers are going to lose Kershaw. Urias is gone, obviously. Bauer's gone. So 2 years ago, they thought they had this awesome rotation, and all those guys are gone. So they need somebody, a veteran, to lead all those rookies out there. So LA.
Anybody?
I wonder if Nola goes out there and like starts committing crime or something and gets kicked off the team.
Yeah.
But Bauer was innocent. So that's an interesting one. Is somebody actually going to go for Bauer now?
That's true. Was he on this
Good
top
question.
50 list at all?
No.
No.
So that's the big wild card. If he wants to come back, that'll be interesting. I'm sure he could take the money. All right, Jared, who we got next? Another pitcher. So Cardinals, okay.
Yeah, moving on. So this fine young fellow pitched well for St. Louis, got himself traded, and then became a World Series champion.
Got
None
himself
other
traded by
than-
pitching well. Get out of here.
Yep. Pitched too well for the Cardinals. We're like, ooh, we like what you got, but you're not 35 and older, so we can't sign you to an extension. Also Matt Carpenter. Anyway, Mr. Jordan Montgomery. I went back and forth on this one, but I do think he ends up staying in Texas and becomes a 1-2-3 punch with DeGrom and Scherzer.
You all know I've lolled at Jordan Montgomery, and I continue
Yes.
to do so. I mean, talk about. So let's say that I'm an idiot sign is a strike zone. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who just lives down in this corner way too frequently with 91. So he's probably going to get paid. I think he won't live up to the deal. He's like a number 4 at best. I have him also re-signing with the Rangers.
And there's another lefty that lived down there in 91. Got the Hall of Fame because of it.
Well, let's definitely compare Montgomery to him.
Yeah, Montgomery's an interesting one. And I think this team needs another starter. They typically don't go into the free agent market for big contracts, but that's back-to-back years. Actually, the last 4 years in the playoffs, the Braves have run out of starting pitching. And so I think this is the year they finally correct it by adding in this case, a third starter, Morton going down to the 4th spot. And I think Fried, Strider, Montgomery, Morton, and then let the young guys take the 5th spot for the season because we've just seen you don't need 5 starters for the playoffs. So who cares
You
after
only
that?
need 3, I think.
So I say Montgomery to Braves.
I played a little trickeroony here is that I have Jordan Montgomery to the Phillies
the
as
NBA?
well,
Oh.
as I think it is a Montgomery or Snell. One of those guys is going to the Phillies, so I'll take both of them to the Phillies.
Playing the numbers, huh?
Yeah, and we'll
Stat
see what
guy.
happens.
That's like calling a tie. Man up and make a decision.
Maybe they both go there. Hey, you know what? When they both sign there, I'm going to look like a genius.
Real
just
smart.
like I would have like a genius if it was a tie.
So our next guy here is somebody we've talked more about today than anybody else, I think. Matt Chapman, currently on, well, not currently, I guess, but played with Toronto the past couple years. Gold Glove, third baseman. Started hot, cooled off, bat. You know, he's probably going to give you around, I don't know, upper 700s OPS maybe. I like him.
Depends on the day.
Do I go first here? I do go first here. Who did I have Chapman going to? Let me look at this. I have Matt Chapman to the Dodgers. Boom. Good signing, Dodgers. Mac Muncy, trash. No, they can move Max over somewhere else.
I like the Dodgers. I got the Dodgers signing somebody else and Muncy going to DH though, with JD gone. Chapman, I had 2 teams going back and forth. Thought I'm going to go with who I picked, but if you look at his baseball savant, the only thing he does not do at an elite level is hit the baseball. Like
That's
when
half
he-
the game.
when he
That's half
hits
the
it,
game.
hard hit percentage, 100th percentile, barrel percentage, 98th percentile, average exit velocity, 98th percentile, chase percentage, 94th percentile, whiff percentage, 18%. Like, he doesn't even chase the ball. He just can't hit the balls in the middle of the plate.
Does he need contacts?
And yeah, I mean, like, it just like something simple as mechanics has got to be off that they could
Where's he
fix
going?
that. So I think 2 teams need him. I'm going
to
the
the Ducks.
Diamondbacks to replace Longoria, but I really would love to see him in Chicago playing with Dansby. But I'm going Diamondbacks.
Funny enough, he's going to go to Chicago and play with Dansby. Matty Chapman's going to fill that 3B hole.
That'd be an awesome
Oh,
infield.
don't say that, Corey. The third base hole. That infield's going to be outrageous if Matt
Yeah.
Chapman comes over. Nothing's getting through, except maybe a first base who Who knows?
Yeah, except maybe a bomb that your pitcher gives up.
Yeah, well, that's why we got Yoshinobu Yamamoto too. But yeah, Matt Chapman's going to go to the Cubs because they have been. It's been a carousel over there at third base, and I think if you get a guy that, I mean, even if he doesn't hit that well, the defense is outstanding. So Chapman to the Cubs.
Have you
I
guys
like
seen
it.
that movie? You guys seen that movie Wolf on Wall Street?
Of it.
Some of it.
You know that part where Leo has the mic? He says, I ain't leaving. Over and over and over. Yeah, this was the easiest one on here. He's staying in Toronto.
New contract, or did you have him accepting the qualifying offer?
I think New Deal.
New deal. It'll be interesting where he goes. He can help a lot of teams out. All righty, so now we're going to our top bullpen arm on this list, and we're talking Josh Hader. He has been a dominant lefty reliever, closer, multi-inning tool for a few years now, except for recently he's cut back and just stuck to the ninth inning. But relievers are a dime a dozen, but he kind of sticks out. So this is a very interesting one. I've got him going to Texas to replace Aroldis Chapman and Will Smith, who those two lefties didn't do much in the playoffs. So Hader and Leclerc at the back of the Rangers bullpen with Ohtani DHing. It's going to be great.
Side note before I give my pick here, whoever Will Smith signs with is my World Series prediction for 2024.
Come back to the Braves, baby.
I got Hader going to the Phillies again. This is my third Phillies in the top 10. The Phillies-
Every lefty go to Philly.
Yeah. Well, they got Alvarado. Kimbrel blew up.
I thought about Philly. That's probably my number 2 choice, actually.
So I got Hader going to the Phillies. It's just left. They got Suarez. They got Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Josh Hader, Jose Alvarado. It's just you better not have any lefties in your lineup. So they're going to go sit down, or they're going to walk to first. One of the two. Hader to the Phillies.
Oh yeah. This was a weird one for me too, but you guys are making fun of me, but I'm telling you, there's one thing keeping the St. Louis team from being dominant. And I have him going to St. Louis.
John Mozeliak. Oh, you're talking players. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a big thing, but all offseason he's talked about how we're gonna spend and get some pitchers. There ain't a lot of money on the books either, so we're gonna do it. This could be the time to do it. So Josh Hader.
I love Hader. I've always loved Hader. Not a hater of Hader. I definitely chastised, rightfully so, when the Brewers traded him. Dumb. I wish he would sign with the Cardinals. I don't think he is. And if he did, with their string of relievers that come there and immediately suck, he'd probably
Especially
be
the
terrible.
lefties.
I have him signing with the Boston Red Sox. A little bit of pulling that name out of a hat, but I mean Kinsley's ancient. He kind of gets the job done, but Hader really closes the door. So I mean Boston's got to sign somebody. So there you go. 4 years. Let's give him a hundo.
Yeah.
Is that too low? I'll say 4 and a 4 for 100. I don't know what the record is for a reliever, but I don't know why he had like a little bit of a rough patch with San Diego when he first got there, I think. Other than that, wildly dominant.
Diaz got the record, right, for base contract, for agent contract. And then he blew his arm out or blew his leg out.
Yeah. All right, rounding out the top 9 is Sonny Gray. Had a pretty solid season with the Twins, was in the Cy Young discussion for a while. I've got him going to a team that we all season long talked about how good they were, but pitching may be their shortcoming, and that is the Baltimore Orioles. Sonny Gray to the Orioles. Jared says Sonny Gray to the Cardinals.
Carl's going to have
You
a
know,
7-man rotation.
No, I thought it, but I was thinking about playing the numbers game too. with like Corey said, like if I just pick all Cardinals, someone's eventually got to. But I
Maybe.
actually went with Philly. I think they missed out on some of the other people, and then this is their backup option.
Reasonable.
That leave it to me.
Joe doesn't know who Sonny Gray is. He's quickly Googling Sonny Gray.
No, I know him. I'm surprised he did so stinking well as he did. He's actually the first guy I've signed him with Cardinals. They're definitely going to splurge on at least one of these top starters, and it'll probably be the lowest hanging one. Even though I mean, Sonny, if you just need one game, you would probably take any of these guys. But I have him going to the Cardinals. They'll pay him.
Yeah, this is the one where I was just making fun of you guys about why they re-signed him, and I don't know why the Twins didn't re-sign him. But I got him re-upping with the Twins. I think the Twins run it back with the same team and still win the division by 15 games. And they finally got the playoff monkey off their back. It's a little extra cash to spend going into this offseason. And hey, healthy Buxton, if he ever stays healthy,
Yep.
he could be good.
All right, Jared. Take us to a Raker's pick. Give me your guy and your team. That's outside of the. Oh, I don't. Just give me a guy and a team. Who cares? Nobody
You
listens
got
to
it.
us anyway.
The one I picked, I had a few in mind, but the one I picked, and I think I picked this one simply on the fact of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think could really use a guy like this on their squad, and I picked Marcus Stroman. I think Joe has alluded to it. Pitching solves a lot of your problems, and I think that kind of bit them in the butt a little bit in the World Series. And I mean, Marcus Stroman, I would take Marcus Stroman on my team in a heartbeat. He's one of those guys you love him when he's on your team, and you hate him when he's not. He's just got that flair, and I think the Diamondbacks could use a little bit of the veteran, but also the flair. So lock it in.
Joe.
What is this again? Oh, this is the Rakers
just-
pick.
It's in the agenda. Everything's right here. You know you're up next. It says Jared, and then it says Joe.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I went with Jack Flaherty. I feel like we got to throw some other teams in here. We're just, or at least me, I'm picking kind of all the same teams. So I'm gonna go with he's gonna sign a 1-year deal. I think obviously. I'm gonna say he signs that with. Now that I think about this, I'm like, wow, this is probably stupid. It'll definitely be West Coast, Corey, but I'm gonna just go with Oakland just because they have to field a team, right? Maybe he tries to repair his image out there. That's my pick. I like him,
Bold
but
pick.
he can't put it together.
Mine's a feel good story. I've got Votto going to Toronto on a 1-year deal, replace Brandon Belt, go back home to his Canadian roots, and play one last year up there with a good chance of making the playoffs.
Oh.
And I think he'd have a lot of fun up there.
It's a good pick. I said in our text chat he's going to the Cubs, but I won't talk about Joey Votto anymore. I am going to go Kevin Kiermaier to the New York Yankees to fill that center field hole that Harrison Bader couldn't stay healthy in.
How long's Dominguez out for?
I think it's because he got Tommy John.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I
he might be
think
back second half.
Well, I don't think he can play the field even because the only reason
true.
Harper could play the field is because he was playing first base. He can't. I don't think he'd be playing center field next year. So you bring Kiermaier in on a 1-year deal. Hold that spot down for.
I like that. I had Hayward going to the Yankees.
I also have again playing the numbers. Had Hayward going to the Yankees too.
Phil center field sub and back up the corners.
Yeah,
I like it.
So then, if we just kind of want to go do a quick little run through and talk about our favorite teams and who else we think might be signing there. I don't know how long Jared's list is, but We'll let Joe kick off.
42 out of the 50 guys.
Yeah,
St. Louis.
42. The
Whole new
the,
40-man
the whole
roster.
Yeah. So, Joe, any other notable guys you got going to the Cardinals? Think you'll go to the Cardinals?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to sign some starters. I had him signing Gray. This is a guy I literally just looked up, and I think they're going to try to sign some. They finally seem like they're going to be willing to go to. We want some guys that have strikeouts, not necessarily, oh, let's pitch to contact and try to get outs, because those outs turn into walks and bombs. So I'm going to say they signed Lucas Giolito. I know I wonder what kind of contract he'll get, because he's kind of struggled second half of this year at least. But his case per nine has always been pretty consistently over 9. I think it's a guy that they not really take a flyer on, because he has somewhat of a proven track record, but they're going to sign at least 2, if not 3 starters. And, maybe he can be that, I don't know, maybe a number 2, maybe a number 3. Cardinals, Lucas Giolito makes a good pizza.
All right.
Did you want more?
I mean, however many you want. If you just want to stop at Giolito, that's fine. If you got other guys in mind,
you were going multiple. No,
do you want us to come back to you?
No, I had multiple others researched and written down, but
and you're just going with Giolito. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, Bravos.
I got the Bravos already grabbing Montgomery to be 4th man in rotation, and the only other one I had the top 50 was Seth Lugo. I think bringing him in to compete for that 5th spot, if he really is a decent starter like he showed for the most of this year, he'll be a nice addition. But then a guy that can transition to the pen and the playoffs and really dominate. I think they'll stop relying on the young guys and bring in Seth Lugo as well. That's all I had out of the top 50.
Yeah, they don't need to do much.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Yamamoto and Chapman to the Cubs in the top 9, and then I have Lucas Giolito coming back to Chicago to play for the Cubs, and then obviously, because Lucas Giolito is going to the Cubs, and Ronaldo Lopez has to go to the Cubs as well, because they can't play on different teams, I believe.
Their contract.
Yeah, it's in both their contracts that they sign. For Joe, I don't think you probably get that reference. Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez have been traded together twice, and then I think picked up on waivers a separate time. So they have changed teams together.
Is this Lopez a guy you even want?
Yeah,
big arm.
He's a
back
hundo
guy.
out of the bullpen. And then the final choice, we mentioned him earlier, Rhys Hoskins coming over to the Cubs. Can maybe come and
you
fill
better
that.
hope he got Chapman if Rhys is playing first for you, because there's gonna be a lot of errors at first base. Just lost
We
your
need a
defense.
first baseman, kind of. I don't know what's going on at first base with the Cubs, but that's what I got. Who else coming to the Cardinals? Jared, that's not your name.
Well, I'll round it up like this. In typical Cardinals fashion, we are going to be making headlines attached to everybody in the headlines, right? That's why I picked all these big names, and then we're gonna throw some smoke in there with Yachty's coming back to be the bench coach. And so fans are getting all excited about that, and then we're gonna go out, not sign any top free agent, but we're gonna bring in Mike Clevenger, Frankie Montas, and Michael Lorenzen to claim out. Those are our big free agent acquisitions, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Yes.
That sounds like Cardinals.
That sounds right.
I had, Joe, I agree with you. I think Snell, I had Snell, Giolito, and I thought for sure you would have Waka coming home. I put Waka down as a 3rd starter that they bring in.
I thought about it. Also feel like they've had the chance to do that more times than once since he's left, and it hasn't happened. So, but hey, like I said, I've liked him ever since he came up.
And Corey, since I didn't have Chapman going there, I had Chapman light Gio Urshela coming in to play 3rd base with Brandon Belt at first. So
Gross.
I don't.
It's disgusting.
I think if you get Chapman, that'd be ecstatic, but I don't see that happening realistically. But it could happen. Council
I
changes
didn't see him-
everything there.
I didn't see him signing Craig
You
Counsell,
said-
but here we are.
Yeah,
You said
exactly.
the over under is 5%. I think we do better than that.
That's,
Surely.
that's 10 total.
10 total right out of if all four of you do the 50 predictions.
So each of us, if if two of us get 2 and 2 of us get 3, man, that's tough for me to get out of my mouth.
Not a good look for the stat guy.
Let's just
That's the words. It's the words. It's here. It's just getting them.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
Long way.
Top in the top.
All right. We'll check back in at the beginning of the season and see what our actual percentage is. But
I like it.
Aaron, why don't you give us a forecast? Why don't you give our listeners a forecast of what we can expect until next season?
Yeah, so we're gonna be back on our weekly Wednesday night recording time. So pod should be dropping mostly on Thursday afternoons if our staff is up to it. They might get a pay
We
cut
should
going into
stop
next
paying
year.
those guys.
Yeah, the week. But we got all kinds of each week's going to be kind of a different special episode. We will fill in the news as stuff happens. If there's big signings or a lot of signings, we'll definitely take time to cover what's going on. Expect the manager spots to be filled pretty quickly because you want to know who you got leading the team. But free agency can drag on throughout the entire offseason. So in the meantime, we're going to have some fun games and fun episodes planned. Hopefully bring in some more guests throughout the off season. I'm going to have fun baseball themed episodes, talking about mascots, talking about movies, talking about history. We're not for sure exactly what it's all going to look like, but each week's going to be a different baseball fun theme. So you don't want to miss any episode. You want to come back weekly. Catch us at Rake Your Position on the X and on the YouTube. And Corey, why don't you fill us in on the merch side of things that you've been working on?
yeah, so we have shirts and mugs available on Etsy. You could maybe find
They
it
are
if you
nice.
search Rake Your Position on Etsy, or you might end up somewhere you didn't want to be.
Made with the highest quality materials.
Yeah, handmade by someone.
Some say too high.
And then if Christmas is coming up, if you want to buy a baseball glove for yourself, I always put a baseball glove on my list, and I've never received one. I have also not played baseball for 8 years, but I still like new baseball gloves. They smell great. We have a link to a website called justgloves.com, which if you buy a glove through that link, we get a little bit of kickback on that. You don't pay anything extra. It just helps us, up our production value and pay our editors more to get you the podcast on time. So the link to both the Etsy store for our merch and the link to the Just Gloves website will be in our podcast description. Buy your loved one a baseball or softball glove. There's no better Christmas gift as far as I'm concerned.
You've been using this site for how long, Corey?
I definitely, since I was in high school, I know specifically of 3 gloves that I own that I have bought from there. Probably 4, actually. I have probably 10 though, gloves, but a lot of them are older than the internet.
I have one.
I know.
Dude, I played first. I
I
played first base with my outfielders mitt. Like I don't need.
I traded
one
a
for every
PlayStation
position.
game in high school for a first base mitt because I didn't have one. I have 2 catcher's mitts. One
Catch all
my-
that heat.
my catcher's mitt in high school broke, and then it got fixed, but it was kind of a temporary fix. So I bought a new one.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I have 2 catcher's mitts. I have oh boy, I have an outfield glove that I bought from Just Gloves. Both
We've seen
catcher's
his
mitts I bought
outfield
from Just
skills. We
Gloves.
know that's worthless.
I bought my typical infield glove from Just Gloves that all the infield I play. I bought a personalized glove from Mexico because it was very inexpensive to buy it from Mexico. So that was not from Just Gloves, but it's a nice glove.
Wow, you're plugging the competitors now. Jeez.
I don't know the name. I have my
Question for
wife's-
you: how many other positions besides catcher did you ever play in high school? Especially varsity. Like you caught every game varsity, right?
Yeah, in sophomore year, I played second base for maybe 2 innings.
Yeah, I did
I
that too.
don't remember that at all.
But I love baseball gloves, and I would recommend just gloves to anybody who wants to buy them.
That was a great plug. That rolled right off the tongue. That's great.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that they aren't paying us anything until somebody buys something from there. So
Just sent
That's
all the
it.
customers to Mexico. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Anyway,
my-
check it out.
I have gloves. I have gloves specifically for softball as well. And then
Once
I have
again, my
wife's
outfielder's
Okay.
glove
Okay.
does just fine for the softball.
The
So.
pockets are all different. You can't use a baseball glove for softball. You're just gonna wreck the pocket.
Dude, duh.
My bad,
Aaron.
'cause I always have. All righty. Any other comments from the rest of the team?
No, I think Corey nailed it. I don't have 10
Did he,
gloves to
though?
talk about, so I can't top
You
that.
asked. You asked. You. I didn't
didn't
have
ask.
to do this.
No.
Not you specifically.
Jared asked.
Somebody did.
I did not ask. I just asked how long you've been using the website. That's all.
That's true. You went from I had bought 4 gloves from them to here's my life story on each glove and this is how many cows I've killed.
They all mean a lot to me.
Yeah, you've talked
I
about
love
your kids
baseball
that
gloves.
much on the podcast.
Well, they can't catch a baseball yet, like my baseball gloves can.
Oh, woof. Sorry, Kyra.
All righty. Well, we'll end on that note. Until next time, everyone, don't forget to rate.
Rate,
Yo!
Position.